is he talking about? And who am I? That's a secret you obviously know. You know you like me. Hashgraph. It's the Gossip Guy here. And this video is going to be a little bit different than my usual weekly gossip. That's primarily because I've been a little bit busy, and also I had an opportunity to catch up with some of the members of the Hashgraph team. So with that being said, let's dive in. So for all of you out there that are pretty active in the Telegram channel, I'm sure this face looks pretty familiar. All right. So Kyle, thanks for taking the time to speak with me today. So with that being said, do you mind introducing yourself? Who are you, and what have you been doing for Hashgraph?
Sure, yeah. My name's Kyle Armour. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I am a general admin for Swirlds. Although that really doesn't describe what I do, because I do a lot of various things. Probably have 5 or 6 different job titles if I really told you them all. But things from social media to community growth and engagement to the ambassador program I'm working on to various other things, infrastructures, and building a lot of programs and making sure that everybody's safe in the company and things of that nature. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of fair to say that you're a jack of all trades.
Very much so, yes.
All right. So with all that being said, what's the experience been like, working for Hashgraph? Like, do you have any good stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. The story of me actually getting involved is a pretty interesting one. Randomly was talking to an old friend who sent me 3 articles and the white paper for Hashgraph. But you still dive into the documents, and it was a really interesting idea. It was the only asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerant protocol that I had ever really seen. So my interest was very large at that point in time, and I wanted to get more involved. My best friend told me that the co-founders were actually coming to New York City. So this was 2 days after I had just done the research. So I quickly dropped what I was doing and flew to New York City. I met Manson and Lehman, and they were just great people. We were out to dinner the next day, and another person at the table said that they were presenting at TechCrunch and could maybe help us get in super last minute. Manson and Lehman both looked at each other and said, "Oh, okay, why not?" So right after that dinner, we immediately went to ordering t-shirts, business cards, banners. All this stuff had to get done. We were booking flights for everybody. Flew out to TechCrunch in San Francisco, and I was immediately just pitching the company. It was just mind-blowing to see the reactions on people's faces and how excited they were. You could see the pain that people were facing in blockchain and how badly everyone wants the solution, and it's just profound to have it here.
Yeah. So obviously, thanks for sharing that. So I guess that's also kind of a good transition to my next question that I kind of had for you. This whole concept of communities. So recently you guys have gotten the Hashgraph Ambassador program up and running. Do you kind of mind telling us more about how that kind of got started and what you guys are doing with it going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a pretty interesting project, how that all came about. We were just chugging away, working on everything we could, and all of a sudden we see 30 groups pop up with the name Hashgraph in them all across the United States, and we're like, oh, how did this happen? And it was all from one guy who we're still working with now. But he was a early believer and really wanted to spread the word. So he had just registered a bunch of cities across the United States. But we saw that, and we wanted to make sure that the content was accurate and we could help support however we could. So we teamed up with him. He ended up kind of turning over all those cities to us, and we started reaching out to those attendees, to the first joiners of these groups. We started reaching out to them to see if they wanted to be ambassadors and how well they knew the technology. And we taught some of them, and they became our first ambassadors. And now that was like the ground level, and now it's just kind of cascaded into this this worldwide thing. We have, I think, 73 cities in 37 countries and over 200 ambassadors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty extensive network there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, this kind of brings me to my last question here, Kyle.
Sure.
So this is the gossip guy after all.
Yeah.
So is there any gossip that you might be able to share with the community tonight?
Yes. So, of course, we have our March 13th event in New York City that's coming up. We actually just put out the flyer today for a presentation we're doing with ArtBit at South by Southwest on March 16th. So that will be really exciting. And lastly, after the March 13th event in New York City, we're also going on road shows to Asia and Europe, and we will be attending some conferences and doing lots of meetups. So if you're in either of those areas, stay tuned. There'll be a meetup near you.
Well, Kyle, thanks for your time, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
So there you have it, folks. I appreciated having the opportunity to speak there with Kyle. Now, before we wrap up here, I have 2 quick updates for you. First, this past week, the list of speakers for the March 13th event had surfaced online. Also, as Kyle had mentioned, Hashgraph will be at South by Southwest in a presentation alongside ArtBit, an image recognition platform for artists. So we'll be curious what the two might have in store or have to say. So that's it. That's all the gossip that I have for you this week. This is the Gossip Guy, signing out. Thanks for watching.